Okay, we'll just start with turning. So just with the Joe, rolling the Joe through the forearm.
Six people.
So a few each side and then rotate, change.
Michael, can you spotlight yourself?
Sure, sorry. There we go. Oh, you can see my flags. You can see my Andalusian flags. Good. Okay, go to this one. You're gonna roll out here. Just really keep the shoulder back and down. So try not to go into these kind of positions and try not to let the body distort out. Just really sink the body down. The back arm, see as a kind of counter, like you do with a ski, like a thrusting movement. Just use the back arm. The main thing is keep the shoulder blades back. Starting to bring the hip in a little bit. Rolling it in. And then changing. You have a sense of it coiling forward into the movement. Good. That's it. Good. And just start to open this out, so you slightly cross it across the body. To kind of build up to the next movement. But you're just going to kind of roll it across. A bit like doing a cross hand haymaker. This kind of way. Just roll it back out. And again, you're going to do this with the hip. So in this case, it's not that the body's fixed and the arm's doing this movement. It's that the hip creates the movement. So now really allow the hip to make this move. The arm's actually staying really on the center. Just into the hip. Now. Good. And then go to fully rotating it, so now really rolling it across. Changing on the side. Roll it across. Set. Good. Nice. Good, and then really for the shoulder, you're going to open out to the back. Just take underneath the elbow and then cast it up. We've got now this movement. And again, allow the hip to really do it. Just rolling up. Roll. That's good. Okay, and then one movement you can make from here, you go to here, roll it up, and then rather than going straight back onto the elbow, whip it back across the body this way. So you do now this, roll it up this way, and then swing it back down this way. So you're coming into now this kind of position. The body, the jaws kind of wrap around the body. And then from here, really release from the hip. Release from the hip this way, come back, swing up, swing down. Swing it back up, swing up, swing down. Make sure the arm stays above, so don't have the arm here and hit your own arm. You're going to wrap around the body. Really get to the hip and then unlock it from the hip. So up, down, reverse it. Up, down, reverse. Up, down, reverse. You can really open this movement out now, this way, and then really roll it down. Roll it down. That's it. Nice. Nice. Yeah. Great. Okay, then one more. This is basically using a change where you're going to change underneath this way. So kind of thumb to thumb, rolling across this way. This kind of rotation. We can do one extra movement again. So really for the arm, for the wrist, really roll it in underneath. So you're going to bring the jaw to the back of the shoulder blade here, and then again unlock it this way. Again, try and keep the arm, the elbow quite close to the body this way. So what I can do in this case is like this kind of movement where the body's coming out. But what I can do, if I can keep the flexibility in the body, the hip releases it, passes it through, and then you're going to roll it back. Roll it through. Don't switch yet. Roll it back. You're going to do a full rotation here, 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 here. Really allow it to roll through. You're going to find the back of the armpit and the shoulder blade, and then roll it out. Guide it with the hips. Good. Ah, great. Nice. Great. Huh. Good. And then the last one, just rolling into the back. So now they're bringing the jaw really to the back of the spine and then coming through. So again, really for the shoulder blades opening out, back down, just roll it through. And again, it's the hips that unlock it. Remember the hips, the whip. Hips whip the jaw through this way. Hips whip the jaw. Good, nice. Nice. Good. And then just a couple of movements, just a couple of minutes, just roll through all the movements. Using the body now. Just with these movements. Just we're going to play with contact with the body. So rolling through all these kind of movements. Rolling into the body. Just really get the feeling that the hip is going to move the jaw. So really work on this kind of connection through the body. Good. Okay, great. So we're looking at really some basic forms. We'll go to the 6-count kata just to start with, just from skikamai. Just going to thrust in nice and strong, raising the jaw up, really at the center of the jaw, and then coming forward with the cut down. You're going to go into like a ski jaw down position, opening the back up, pressing through and into the ground. Just these 3 movements. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, give it a try. Just the first 3 movements of the 6 count. Jodan Gaishichi. Good. Nice. Good. And okay, good. See, in this case, you can really work on the position. So you're going from a ski position, so from a ski kamai, really into a ski thrusting position. So you're really going into a kind of deep kind of bridge through the body this way. And as you transition, you're transitioning into a different kind of posture. It's much narrower. And then as you really transition to the strike, you're really going into a hammy with the body. But really try and keep them solid in the ground. So really have a sense of arcing through the lower body. Yeah, really arcing through the lower body this way. Really have the feeling that the spine and the arms are really free on top of. Imagine this like a bridge or like an arch, and you're gonna really float the hips in the center above it, and then from here you're gonna really press into it. And again, have the sense of the spine elongated and just kind of sitting on top of it. You got a sense of springiness in it, but you're also exploring different structures with the body. So the different movements, the raising of the body of the jaw, and the striking down. You're really working in different bases for the body, for the spine. So really just explore those. So the different movements, you have a different kind of feeling as well. So really just work on this sense of arcing through the lower body, right? And the upper body, really allow it to do what it's going to do this way. But keep the top loose, keep the top light, the bottom heavy. Give it a try. Nice. Good. 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 Okay, and then just make this a little bit more fluid. You're going to keep the basic pattern. So sometimes we go from this strike ski Jodan Gaishi into ski Hayagaishi. So you're going to keep the basic form, but I want you to just make it a little bit more fluid. So you're going to press in, press back, and roll through forward. So what you're still going to do is move the body back. So normally when we go to Hayagaishi, you just press in forward this way. And essentially what I want to do here is roll back and roll forward at the same time. So you're really going to press forward, press back and raise, and at the same time, something goes forward through the movements. Press in, press forward. Really focus. Now the handwork's going to be very soft all the way through the movement. So the hand really active on the jaw. This way. Yeah, give this a try. Nice and slow. Kind of into a flexible form. Right. Yeah, that's it. Great. Okay, we move to the next steps in the kata. From here, you're going to throw this, strike in, now drawing all the way back to the get down position. Yeah, and then you're going to roll in to the strike. You're going to go through the last three movements. So striking down, roll all the way back with the back hip. From the back here, striking in low, and then release it back this way. So you go 1, 2, 3, roll back the hip, press in, and roll back to kamai. Yeah, try. So the 6-count kata. Take it real slow.
Michael, so the bit about the 1, 2, 3, from here,
yeah,
and then when you swing it to the front,
yeah.
Does the jaw go first and then your foot? Do they go together, or does it go like that? I mean, I'm exaggerating, but I don't know.
Question. And basically, in this case, I'm going to move the body behind the jaw. So the jaw's going to come forward, and then I'm going to bring the body behind it. So the body in this case is behind the jaw, so the movement comes through. What I do in this movement is the weight's actually the power in the movement's coming from my pressure into this leg, this way. So the actual strike is done here, this way, and then the body follows through with it. In a sense, what you're doing is really find this position, and then roll the weight into this front foot, swing the jaw through, and coil the body through it in that way.
Is that big? Yeah.
Later, just going to kind of roll through with it. But in a sense, this comes through, and then the body comes through with it. The body comes behind it. The body comes kind of behind the jaw in this case. Yeah.
So it's behind the weapon.
Yeah.
So is that because, do you put the jaw in front first? So if there's a strike, if your partner is striking you, you've still got balance? Or
Yeah, also, and in a sense, what I'm doing is making contact with it here and then pressing the center through it. So in a sense, what I'm doing is rolling through and really pressing the center into it. And this is, it's just a bit clearer here, but it's the same that I do here. The strike comes through and the body passes through it. And I do the same thing. The strike comes through and the body presses through it. The strike through the body presses through it. So the body's always going to kind of press from behind the jaw. In that sense.
okay.
And then the center can really press weight through the strike. In that sense. It's a bit like here. The body presses out through the fist. The body presses out through the fist. Boom. It's like that way. The best way to press this is like with a push. You push a wall or something. Just press into it and then press the body through it. So you kind of you make contact and then the center follows through it. It's like contact and then the press comes through.
Okay, I'll give it a try, as you say. Thank you.
Give it a try. Play with it. Hey. And again, just make this flexible. You can do this from a kenkamai, just rolling back, rolling forward with the strike. So just go to this, just the Gedan Gaishin movement, making it a bit more flexible now. So you're going to roll back, roll the body through. This is basically what you're doing is compressing into the foot and then pressing it back through. So in the case of the Savuri or this movement, when I pull back, I don't want to come back this way and have to swing back out this way. What I want to do is really roll back with a sense of my attention, everything forward. So in the basic form, you kind of find this position. The attention's all forward, and then you just press into it this way. Now from here, what you're going to do is the same movement. Press, roll, and then roll back. This is much more complicated than the other movement, but have the sense that the hips press back and press in. So there's no real pause in the hip work. And see if you can really find a sense of coiling through the hip. So you're going to roll back, roll forward with it. Yeah, give it a try. So just that point from kenkamai, just rolling with the back hip, pressing it forward. Have the feeling of opening and closing the hip, like a hinged hip rolls open and presses through. Very flexible movement for the hips. Ah, good. Okay, and this movement's harder because the handwork's a bit more complicated. So if I'm doing the movement in a way like this, pulling back and then coming forward, this movement will always be, no matter how fluid I make it, it will always have this kind of staccato, have this kind of gun, this kind of movement. What I need to do in this case is the backhand rolls through and rolls through. So it's the backhand especially is always active on the jona. So it's constantly in motion. But if I have a sense of doing this, I can't make this fluid because I'm doing things in pieces. So what I need to do is do this really fluidly this way. So there's really a sense of pulling the jaw and then pressing it forward. So actually, this work that we do in the beginning, this kind of work, this is really in this work. But now the hands are doing it in motion. So the hands are in motion on the jaw. This is why it's complicated. And at the same time, I'm moving the hips, moving the feet. So everything's in motion now, but really get a sense of a kind of width that runs through the body. But if I do a kind of breakdown, it will always remain kind of static. So have a sense of fluidity in the handle. Slightly exaggerate the movement. Roll through it. Hello. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, great. Good, Tom. There we go. Yeah, super. Great, great, great. Good. Good.
Michael?
Yeah.
When we go backwards, are we taking a step backwards, or are we just kind of moving, shifting the weight to the back and then move?
Yeah. In this case, you can do both, but in this case, try and move in the feet also, because this will kind of help the movement. Now, rolling back, pressing in. So move both feet in this movement. Keep it kind of basic. You're in this position. Roll back, roll forward. Later, obviously, you're going to be pressing into the front foot.
Okay.
But for now, see if you can kind of find it here.
Okay.
And then this movement of the front foot just allows me to stabilize the movement of the hip, and then find it. So yeah, just play with both actually. The key thing is to wave through the jump. Wave through it. Okay, keep going.
Okay.
Good. That's it. Yeah. There we go. Okay, good. And this also what you'll find difficult. What I find difficult in this movement is I need a really stable core, and I need that core to kind of direct the periphery of the body. I can't allow the periphery of the body to kind of dictate the terms of the movement. So what tends to happen a lot is that the periphery is guiding the body this way. So you end up with these kind of swinging motions this way, so that the hands and the jaw are actually pulling the body out of the structure. So this is where you have flexibility but no stability. And what I need is, in this sense, is real stability in the core of the body. I really have a sense that from the core of the body is actually very stable. The fluidity is just in the expression of the arms. But that kind of, what I don't want is, I don't want flexibility with looseness. So I don't want to mistake flexibility for looseness, and I don't want to mistake stability for rigidness. So in a sense, I want the best of both. I want a kind of stable core and a really flexible kind of exterior. So just explore and really watch for when the exterior, the periphery starts to really dominate the movement. And also the core can dominate too much. It ends up with these kind of stiff movements. The core kind of stabilizes, makes everything rigid. So just have a sense of a stable core and flexible periphery. So the core is stable internally, but the peripheries should be very loose in a sense. Just give it a try, a few more. This is a perfect move to practice it because it's very challenging for the connection. There we go. Yeah, that's great. Good. Good. Okay, and then just to finish the Gedangaishi movement, make the end more flexible now. So you come to here, and you wave back into the position. Now, in a sense, when you do this movement, even for the basic, what I want to do is a sense of coiling through the jaw this way. So rather than it being a lateral pushing movement this way, which is really useless, what I use this as a way to cover the body back. as I go back. So when you practice this movement, this, roll it back. Just get a feel for this movement now. So make this movement flexible, strong in the core, and then really allow it to release from the lower body this way. Again, the core's going to kind of create the movement. Be stable and then release through the legs and come back. So just play with, oh, don't do that. Don't do that yet. Roll back, roll into the Genangaishi, and then come into this position. Yeah, just play with that return to Kamai.
Michael?
Yeah.
So this means the last movement is not a block or an attack. It is just a release of the Joe.
In a sense, it can be either of those things. So later we use this as a block. So later we use it as a block down this way. Especially in, like, if you think of the practice in the 31, we use this as a block to the side of the body. But in a sense, what it also functions as is just a return back to the position. And in essence, this movement is straight through in motion, and I just whip it back in. So in a sense, you can use it in a static way, like a block, or you can use it in this kind of fluid way, as really just a kind of, yeah, return back to position. But if you do the movement correctly, you can do both with it. So as long as the movement's really rolling over this way, that way you can adapt it then to either as a block or as a kind of just as a sweeping back into the.
Hey.
Good. Yeah. Good. Nice. Here we go. Good. Yeah, that's it. Nice. Oh, nice. So really for the basic work, really try and get this, the feeling is like reabsorbing the jaw back into the body. So again, this is quite an external movement. Everything's front and down. So in this sense, it's quite challenging for the band. What I need to do is have the feeling of really drawing the jaw back into the center. So this is rolling back into a preparation movement, back into a ready position. Really have this sense of you going from a really external, fully extended position this way, and then I'm really absorbing it back into the body. So in this case, make use of the movement backwards. So really exaggerate that movement backwards. What I don't want to do is this kind of work, kind of leaning and pulling back this way. Have a sense that the whole body rolls the jaw back. So it's actually the hip work. In the same, like Serena asked this question about whether the body goes before or after the jaw. In this case, the jaw comes forward, the body comes. Now in this case, to reverse that, the body goes back and then the jaw follows. But in a sense, don't do this way. Look on. Do the sense that the body, the center, draws the whole jaw back that way. Okay, this is much more efficient later. And this then flows into the fluid form next. So just give that a try. That's it. Yes. Nice. That's it. That one. Yeah. Yeah. Great. Great. Nice. Okay, and then just put this last set together. So the last three moves from the Kenkamai, you're gonna roll back, roll through, and bring the jaw now fully through. So you now take this slowly. You roll in, and then release it into the strike. The feeling here is. You can show. Oh, maybe there. Okay, the feeling here is like I'm striking this and then drawing it back through the movement. Now, in a sense, this movement, what I'm doing, if I can hit through it, this is really But if you imagine the table leg disappears, what I can do with this movement is just continue it back this way. So this is also a movement that's fluid, that allows me just to regain control of the jaw. So what you're looking to do is really have the sense of hitting, striking and drawing it back that way. Yeah, so just give this a try. You can either go from Kenkamai or just straight into the Genengaishi, but just have the feeling now of striking through and then continuing it. And don't hit yourself in your head. Hopefully, don't do that. Keep it fluid, rolling through, and then finding the back of the jaw. Good. Good. Nice. That's it, Serena. Good. Yeah, that's it. Great. Yeah, there we go. Nice. Great. Good. Okay, so we'll do the full kata in a basic way. Basic form. So really taking the pauses. So rolling through 1, 2, raising. Really feel the center of the body. 3, come through with the strike. Roll the body back. Come in for the Gerangaishi and then roll back. And just say this very slow, really step by step. 1. Really feel the center of each movement. Even slower if you can. Give it a try, just in your own time. So the 6 count kata, really basic form. Good. Okay, and really in this basic form, also really try and feel the make these distinctions between the forms where you're attacking and the forms where you're making preparation movements. So in a sense, the body feels totally different in those movements. But one of the dangers of this kind of training, static kind of training like this, is that everything begins to have the same kind of quality. Everything kind of feels the same. I use the body in the kind of similar way. Now, that's okay, but what you want to do is really see if you can feel the difference between even this kind of position, which is a loaded sprung position, and then the feeling here of really striking something. So the feeling's totally different in the body, using the body in a different way. Now, as you come to here again, the feeling's totally different. So I'm having the feeling of preparing for something and really loading the movement. And then come through and strike through. And then the feeling's really of striking through something very heavy. And then here the same, it's very light movement. And then here a heavy movement. So you can think in terms of being really grounded, solid in the movements where you're striking, and being very light, fluid in these kind of movements. But the feeling you want to go later into the fluid form is like you want to work with a kind of grace through the movements. And that means that I'm using different qualities of the body. So just play with, you can think either kind of heavy and light movement. It's basically where the body's doing different things, really pressing weight through the jaw, or just moving the jaw back to prepare. But really just focus on the kind of qualities during the movement. Again, if you just do the movement correctly, you will hopefully feel the kind of qualities anyway. So just play with it a little bit, but the different kind of sensations in the body as you do these movements. Oh. Nice. Yeah, that's it. Good. Good, and now just start to work fluidly. So what I want you to do is go 1, 2, 3, fluid, pause, and then 4, 5, 6, fluid, pause. So just kind of have a pause in between. You're gonna basically roll through 1, 2, 3, pause, and then really 1, 2, 4, 5, 6 this way. Yeah, so kind of the fluid form, but just with a pause in between. So 1, 2, 3, pause, 4, 5, 6. That way. Yeah, just give this a try. You're still kind of really also doing this in a basic way. So really also bring the body back through the movement. Bring the body back. And just play with the basic form like this. Just nice and slow. Try and really feel the body. With the pause in between. Good. Good, 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 good. Okay, good. And then try this now really in the fluid form. So the basic form is kind of coming back, rolling forward, coming back, rolling forward. But in a sense, for the fluid form, you're just going to press the center straight in. So this is where we go to the Hayagaishi. Here, come here. Just have the feeling all the time the center presses in. The center presses in. The center presses in. So in this kind, there's no real drawing back of the body. So what you do is here, this, this. Now really slow. Presses. Yeah. So now that the preparation movements are really done in movement, totally in movement. So normally we're used to these preparations, we go still and then press into it. Now the value of that training is that if I'm able to train in the right way, that I use those moments as a way to create stillness in the form that I can just move straight into. Now what I want is the same kind of quality of stillness, but now within the movement. So try and see if you can find that during the preparation this way. So there's really a sense of stillness within the body, or a sense of calm within the body is a better word. Calm. So really look for a sense of calm, but you're also really striking the body, striking through the body down. A sense of calm and then striking through, and then this way. Yeah, so kind of you go to a kind of calm to a full kind of explosive power this way. So just look now in a fluid way, striking through. You've got these kind of 3 pulse strikes through the movement. Bam, 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 that kind of way. Yeah, give it a try, just in fluid form. Full fluid form. Whoosh. Good. Hey. Oh. Yeah, that's it. Nice. Okay, good. So if you think like the basic forms it really teaches a sense of compression patterns in the feet, how to use the feet to press the center, the weight of the body through the jaw. And in a sense, it's just teaching that kind of organization. Now, what you need to do is kind of unlock those compressions in the footwork. So in a sense, the easiest way to think about it is that the leg that's forward through the movement is the one that I press into. So in this case, I'm pressing from the back, but I'm actually entering into the front foot this way. And as I make the movement, because I press into the front foot, it allows me just to travel into that next movement. So you press into the front foot, and then as you come through, you press into the front foot. So this one, this way. And then as you come through, you press to the front foot through the Gedangaishi. It's a bit exaggerated, but I have the sense that the weight's going to shift in, shift in, shift in. So that just think in terms of the foot that's forward during, in the case of the ski, it's the left leg. You go to the right leg. Really press the weight through it this way. The back leg opens and then presses through it. So there's really a sense of pulsing through the footwork. Just give this a try. So the last few minutes, really press the weight. I want the whole weight of the body to shift into that leg. And this allows me to then move to the next step. And the back leg functions really just as a support for the front power. Really as kind of balancing. Hey. Hey. That's yeah. Good. Nice. And then there's just the very last week. See if you can really kind of compress this. So kind of compress the movement out. So because these the basic movements also involve kind of big movements, forward, back, forward, back, forward, back. And you're really kind of exaggerating the footwork. But in this case, what I want you to do is really keep it kind of condensed. And really kind of contain the form much more solidly and much more compact. In a sense, really, in this case, work from the center. Feel like they're feeling, in this case, like the hands in the center and you lower them and bring them back in. So in a sense, the pulse is like this from the center, this kind of work. So in a sense, you're doing this with the ground, pulse through the whole body. So really have a sense of compacting it, like coming out and compacting it. So you've got this kind of sense. You do this really well. It feels like an internal massage for the body. This way. So really keep it this. Really keep it very tight. And I'll try and hold the footwork. Hey. That's it. Yeah, there we go. Super. Great. Okay. Very nice. Good. So that's the 6-count kata. In a way, going from basic movement pattern, or basic kihon level, really using the pauses, really allowing the feet to move, stabilize, and then moving to the next one, and then going to a kind of fluid form where you're looking at flexibility through the footwork. Still keeping the kind of basic form, but just kind of starting to kind of erase the lines in the form. And then going to a full fluid form where you're just really going straight into full flow through the movement. And that basic pattern that you can use in the 6-count kata, you can apply all over the work. So the same with the taijutsu and all the other Jo katas that you do. This is the same basic pattern that we follow, from going from basic to full flow. This is it. Okay, good. Bow out. Domo arigatou gozaimasu.
Domo arigatou gozaimasu.
Right.
Thank you.
Thanks for that.